Welcome. Today we're going to be reviewing March Survival Guide. Let's jump into the video. So it says ESO's March 2026 Survival Guide, announcements and community for announcements. Okay, so starting March 9th, there's going to be rework of the Dragon Knight abilities, some different ways that's been done. Also, two-handed is going to have some new mechanics on different ways it's been done. The way it looks, kind of refreshing the way it looks and how the mechanics work and the visual effects and all that sort of stuff is going on with it. It's both for the Dragon Knight and for two-handed abilities. We've also got the ESO roadmap. So it's talking about update 49, enjoy updates to Dragon Knight, and player experience on all platforms. So, March 9th starts a new era where everything, PC and console, will get the update at the very, very, very same time. Originally, before, it used to be just the PC first, then it was a month later that console got it. Now, everybody's going to get the update at the very beginning, which is kind of cool. We're going to have seal celebrations, so complete your activities to earn a new slew of seals. So March 3rd through April 1st. Jester's Festival will be March 25th to April 2nd. We have ESO 2020 ESO Season Direct. Learn about ESO's future seasons. March 31st, there will be a live stream. March 31st. If you're into PvP, it's going to be a two-sided deathmatch weekend. And enjoy 25% to AP gain as you clash on the battlefield during deathmatch. Endeavor and daily login award system discontinued March 1st to the 2nd. As part of the move to seasons in support of Tamriel Tomes, arriving April 2nd, Endeavors and daily logins DLR systems will be disabled starting with DLR on March 1st. And Endeavors on March 2nd. Don't worry, you'll still earn tons of seals via March Golden Pursuits campaign, starting on March 3rd. So we have a visual effect of seals and stuff like that. So that's talking about March 3rd, Golden Pursuits. Gold Road comes to PlayStation Plus monthly games. March 3rd through April 6th. Ooh, that's so if you're on PlayStation, it says you're on console. Claim the Gold Road Collection with your PlayStation Plus membership and own it forever for free. This limited time promotion is part of the PlayStation Plus monthly games offerings, so don't miss out. March 9th to March 25th, there's going to be a 100% XP mini event. Receive 100% XP bonus for your skill line progression as you venture across the Tamriel. Go unlock those morphs. Update 49 will be March 9th. Experience refresh Dragon Knight class, also incredible player experience improvements, and more with the launch of the Update 49 base patch. This update serves as the foundation of Season 0, officially kicking off April 2nd, and will go live on all platforms at the same time. Note that with this update, your remaining event tickets will be converted into trade bars. So, go ahead and try to get those event tickets up. If you already have 12, leave it there. Don't use them because it's going to give you trade bars. for later use in Gold Coast Bazaar upon logging in. So festival is April 25th to no festival is March 5th to April 2nd. The Gold Coast Bazaar launches March 25th. Gold Coast Bazaar is a new storefront offering players a chance to pick up classic collectibles using trade bars. It's opening its doors to the public with a variety of items for sale ahead of the launch of Season 0 April 2nd. So Gold Coast Bazaar, it's kind of similar to what the tickets were about, but it's going to be things that were previously there, and it just, it, it may, it may not be. We haven't really gotten but you're going to be able to get things that you haven't got before. So classic says, you can chance to pick up classic collectibles. So that could be mounts, that could be pretty much anything. Player experience improvements live stream March 26th. Okay, so what? Okay. Okay, March 31st. New live stream for each year's future. And they're gonna have one for player experience March 26th. But on Bethesda Twitch live stream. March 26th at 2 p.m. Eastern at the ESO community team is joined by future lead to break down some improvements arriving in game. Feature lead. 2026 ESO's season direct live stream is March 31st. So, stay continued because the next part of this video is going to be about the PTS. Gave you kind of what the March was going to be about, what's updates, what's in future going to be. I'll have a later video coming out about the future of ESO. There's some things that are some very unique things that I heard in the live stream that I will go over. It won't be in this video, but the next part of it's going to be about the PTS. But later on, maybe a couple weeks, but I'm going to detail some of the things about the future of ESO. As I said, let's continue on with the video here. So the PTS, this is the final PTS. That means what the PTS now says is what's going to launch on March 9th. So what they've said is that they give feedback, all this, the update will be around 55 megabytes in size. So there's 3-sided battlegrounds, mounts for gold. These are things that happen in PTS that people could test and stuff like this. They changed some things with some of the mounts. There was a questions that came up about one of the mounts that you got for Morrowind. So they changed that one. And we'll go over that one and look at that one. Some template information, known issues, combat, and gameplay, which we'll get into more detail. If you want to go back and look and read most of it, you can. I won't go over all of this because some of it's cosmetics, some of it's just bug fixes and stuff like that they had to do for the PTS before they can launch it March 9th. So let's go ahead and look at some of the things. Here's some mounts for gold. Based on player feedback, we swapped the Nyx Ox War Mount, Warsteed Mount, as previously provided a bonus for owning Morrowind. Instead, you now acquire the Ruby Flare Tornix, where the Warsteed was previously available. And they fixed some bugs with the mounts for gold books, so the mounts for gold books too. Continue on. This is just known issues that they're fixing. Okay, here's combat abilities for Dragon Knight rework. So, if you go on your Dragon Knight, what it's going to read is, it's going to be kind of different. Dragon Knight Standard reduces this ultimate as its morphs cost 200, down from 250, 25 to 250 for shifting. Reduces the base damage reduction to 7, 10% based on rank, down from set 9 to 12%. It reduces the weapon and spell damage to 270 by 300 to 300, down from 345 to 375. Standard of Might. This is a morph. This morph sees the change some changes to values on the base morph. This morph now grants the caster 50% more damage, 15% reduced damage taken, and 300 weapon and spell damage while inside the area. So if you're in a boss arena and your tank is a Dragon Knight, he can drop his ulti and the whole group can get inside the ulti and will get 300 weapon and spell damage while inside the area, rather than 475 weapon and spell damage and 12% reduced damage taken. So the trade-off. You get 15% damage, reduced damage. And the caster and the morph now grants the caster 50% damage done, 15% reduced damage taken, and 300 weapon and spell damage while inside the area. This is for the caster. Now let's show the spoil. Making some adjustments to the power of its ultimate between its morphs and supportive damage version, and outright damage versions to try and give them healthier place in the meta. By reducing the cost to aim at uptimes, we're generally reducing the supportive power, while also trying to give back some of the power to the caster to try and deliver on a segment many have expressed of wanting the original standard back. While we're not going to exactly revert this ultimate and effects to avoid oversaturating a flame in context of subclassing in the long term, we're willing to juice these values up for the time being. Lava Whip. Lava of Flame Lash. This morph now grants 7% damage done, doubling it against monsters. So 7% is the base. It'll go double, so we go to 16% against monsters. 45 seconds after spending all stacks of Power Lash, rather than granting 12% damage done to monsters for 30 seconds after gaining any stacks of Power Lash. The healing from both versions now always activates, rather than requiring you to deal damage. Molten Whip. Seeing Fury now grants 5% damage done to monsters, 2% damage done to players per stack. So, it gets roughly about 10. I think it's about 10 stacks. So 2% for each time you use it. Rather than gaining 5% damage on the monsters per stack. Seeing Fury no longer deactivated while Engulfing Dragon Knight is slotted. Dragon Knight Power. Dragon Knight Breath, Engulfing Dragon Knight Fire. This morph stacking mechanic has been returned to ensure this morph doesn't eclipse the other spannable options, while also making it ramping FX easier to achieve consistently. Now increases damage done by 5% every tick, regardless of enemies hit, up to 50% maximum, rather than increasing the damage done by 20% every other tick. If an enemy was hit, up to a maximum of 80%. So it's engulfing Dragonfire. Yeah, this is gonna hit pretty hard. This now increases damage to my 5% every tick. So every time you get hit by it doubles. Show the swirl on this one. Originally tried to avoiding bringing this morph down in power while finding alternative solutions that enhance those Dragonite abilities. But in the process, we've heard that solutions felt too restrictive and unattentive to class kit. So we're loosening those restrictions and instead toning down the power of this morph so it stands as a fun alternative with some external strengths. Earth, Unearth Heart. They call it a landslide. Avalanche. Okay. This passive now has been renamed to move away from the frequent association with snow and ice. Superheat Ward. Magnafist. This morph now grants an additional effect when hitting a target at max stacks of heat shock, which increases the damage done of your next Magnafist by 66% with 6 seconds, up to every 6 seconds. Heat shock now lasts for 7 seconds, rather than 10. Increases damage taken by 66 up from 33. Originally 65 pre-PTS. So, right now, it's 65%. So it got a kind of, it got a buff. About like, yeah. So to me, it got a buff by 1. It got nerfed by 10. It got nerfed by 3. Up by 1. Magna Armor, Corrosive Armor. This Corrosive Armor has been changed completely. It no longer does disease damage. Does flame damage. And it's a cone. When you pop it, it'd be a cone that will go around you. You'll see it on the ground. And anybody that's in that vicinity, in that vicinity will take flame damage. Corrosive Armor, this sports penetration now once again only applies direct damage attacks. So, when you pop it, anybody in front of you acts as direct damage. Adjusted the damage limit to 6% of your max health, rather than 12%. Originally 3% pre-TS. So they increased that to 6%. Earlier, the other PTS, like the first PTS that came out with the Dragonite reworks, was 12%. Increased the damage done by 12.5%. And it once again targets all enemies inside instead of only monsters. So that's gonna be a pretty good morph. Pretty good one right there. Pretty good ulti to be able to use. Just hope it doesn't become too broken. For walking back to penetration changes made from PTS 1, yeah, it's 12%. For this, in Onslaught, based on a lot of PvP community feedback we've seen. As such, we're also lessening some of the penalties incurred while retaining a sharper trade-off with this ultimate compared to before. In general, it still have a higher damage ceiling compared to live, while sacrificing some reduction in survivability, but too far less of a extreme. This is a big update coming. Your skill and character respect. On the PTS, you go into your character screen, you go into your skills. So if you're on PC, you would hit the K button and you go to your skills. If you're on console, you click the you click the select button, and it will go to you scroll down your characters. In there, PC, it'll be the R button for respect. For PlayStation, it might be the X or circle one. It won't be an air button. Let me tell you that. Be this X, circle, or triangle, or square. One of the two. And it's free every time. There is no more going back to the shrine to rechange your skills or rechange your character attributes or anything like that. You just do it right from this character screen, and it's done. And it's completely free. It can respect it the whole time. You can change the morphs, everything. Another thing too, coming in March 9th, both of your skill bars will now gain XP no matter what bar you're on. So these bars, the XP is going to be universal. Won't be just by which are your bars are on. It'll be depending on what. It'll be universal, meaning no matter what bar you're on, you're getting XP for that experience for that one. You also have skill scrolls. So skill scrolls. Attempting to use a skill scroll transforming. Yeah, that was about the werewolf. But there are skill scrolls. The skill scrolls will drop in the night market. And so they had some visual effects they needed to fix, stuff like that. We don't. If you want to read them, you can just go back to the ESO.com and read them, or really look or squint your eyes to see what this is. Now this video is going to be more 4K, so you'll be able to read it a little better. If you want to pause it and read it, this way you can. They changed it to the two-handed morph. Some of the effects with two-handed, kind of nice. It's very different. They changed the way the momentum is done. Okay, here's some audio fixes that they did. Okay, weapon abilities. Two-handed Berserker Strike. Onslaught. This morph penetration now once again only applies to direct damage. So Onslaught is a single target, meaning you're hitting the person that's in front of you, you're hitting that person. Increase the duration effects from mismorphs to 8 seconds, up from 5. So there's really not anything else I need to really show you, but there is. You can still go back and run to retreat these, you can. Just kind of market general stuff about what's going to be. If you haven't seen, I have a video about how you can get Knight's Den. That'd be at the end of the video. Heart, Sour's friend. Okay. This is a big one. Now, it's been out for a little bit. People have talked about it, stuff like this. But this is going to make a big change in Cyrodiil. Like those campaigns. Its battle spirit will now reduce the amount of healing received by 33% when you have 8 or more heal over time effects on your character. So, it's mainly the second morph of Vigor. The first morph, the Vigor, is your self-heal. This one, you can heal your allies too. So what it's doing is healing you and your allies, and it's upticking. So now everybody's getting it, and yeah. So instead of them nerfing Vigor, they put a penalty with Battle Spirit. It reduces your healing received. And that's universal, meaning every single player gets it. And they also, this is a big one too, they put a barricade to block people from jumping into Oswald Keep. They jump in from the farm. So no more. No more. Just some more animation, art animations, audio fixes they worked on. Okay, this one's at Buccaneers Bay. It's gonna be a new house. Not then a new house. Buccaneers Bay, I think, is a one you gotta pay gold, I think, for or crowns. Not then you get by completing quest. Like I said earlier, at the end of this video, there's gonna be a video about how you get Knight's Den. There's some things in the video also I talked about too. I also talked about this too. But yes. So thank you for watching. Today we showed the March survival guide, and we detail what was gonna be happening coming March 9th. From what the PTS showed, the final PTS. Some interesting things coming about the Battle Spirit coming. It's going to be an interesting topic. It's going to be talked about when March 9th comes. What's going to be, how everybody likes it, what the feedback's going to be. Some other things too about the houses and stuff. Interesting with the Dragon White reworks, how it's going to translate, and the player experience that is coming. The respecs, where you don't have to pay any more gold now, where it's all completely free, and you just push a button and you can respect everything just constantly. Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting. Now, hopefully, people don't abuse this. Hope there's a cooldown they implement later on, because right now there is no cooldown. You can do it as long as you want. So, yeah. Well, once you've completed it, it does a download, and once the download's completed, it's done. Now you can do it again and do it again, but that's the thing. So thank you for watching, and don't hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button also. And I stream on Twitch. My name is Patty2008. And I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.